I call to order the regular school board meeting of the Washington Metropolitan School District of Washington Township. It is Wednesday, August 13th, at 6 p.m. I would note that all 5 members of the board are present, along with Superintendent Taylor. I want to start tonight by returning to our tradition of the first meeting of every month, having a reminder by reading our mission statement. Except little change, it's not that anymore. That'll be replaced very soon. We just approved the new mission as part of the new strategic plan at the last meeting. So I'm going to ask Mr. Thompson to read our new mission aloud for us to start us.
Our mission is to nurture our students into tomorrow's leaders by cultivating learning environments that ignite innovation, amplify diverse and critical thinking, and inspire growth and achievement.
With that, we'll begin our regular agenda with our school spotlight on the Early Learning Center with Mrs. Parisi. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I'm sorry. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance first. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And with that, we'll go to the first item on our agenda, which is the school spotlight on the Early Learning Center. Welcome, Mrs. Parisi.
Not there. Usually I'm right there to be the.
It's right there. Yep.
Well, thank you, board members, and thank you so much for having us here. I always just laugh a little bit that we get to be the first ones. Somebody just asked how things were going with the ELC. We still have priors, staff and students, but we are so excited to be back and have lots of changes that have been in the plans this school year. So it's fun to see how they're all getting started. So we're going to start with some great celebrations. So we had about 4 days before the school year started, we had 2 special education teachers done. And if you know anything about hiring special education teachers right now, that's a little challenging. And we had those positions filled within 24 hours of the resignation. So that is a celebration, and not a celebration so much. I think it speaks to the work that we've been doing and the work that people who have been either in other positions within our building or subbing for us, they've seen the work that we're doing and they want to stay longer and continue to help and invest in that work. So that's how those 2 positions got to be filled so quickly. We added also the week before the school year started, we added 5 new lead classroom positions. And that means that these are folks that are non-certified positions. They came about because we did some major changes in our structure to become more inclusive school. And so those teachers, the reason that happened late is because we needed to make sure that we had correct enrollment and correct funding to support that. But that's a huge win for us as a building to add those 5 new positions, and then also add instructional assistants that came along with that for our tuition-based programs. And then over the past year, we've had 3 outstanding staff members. We recognize they all came before you last school year. Lauren Austin Moore and Amber Texan were 2 of our teachers that were recognized through state and local early childhood foundations and groups. And then Tiffany Gates received an outstanding paraprofessional award from the Indiana Council for Exceptional Children. So those are wonderful, and I can't wait to be able to nominate staff for this as well. For students, we now have over 20 students receiving CCDF vouchers. I'm sure you've heard through the news about on-my-way pay and the cuts that were made for that. I am really pleased, though, that the 20 students that we have in They were currently receiving CCDF prior to meeting on my way pre-K. And so what the state did is they allowed those CCDF vouchers to continue. So those students still were able to access the funding and the vouchers that allowed them to come to our school full day. And the way the state pays that out is it actually pays a little bit more than they pay market rate. And right now our tuition is a little under market rate, so they still pay that. So we're able to kind of make a little bit of extra funding, which will help us as we need some more tools and manipulatives and some consumables as we add those students. And it also helps when we add those 5 classroom teachers. So that is fantastic for those children. Our half-day and full-day classrooms are now all inclusive. And so we still have some students that need a self-contained model, I believe, in the whole continuum of services, but we have expanded that continuum by saying all students have the right to have access to our full-day program and our half-day. So we have 143 half-day students, 77 full-day students. 13 of those students are now in inclusive settings. The staff has heard me say a lot, but that's the hill I would die. I believe wholeheartedly in inclusive practices for children. So that is something that makes my heart really happy and really proud of our staff. Because I will tell you, it has been hard. I'm not kidding when I say that we've had staff in tears this year. But it's an okay thing because we're growing and we're learning and we are being stretched, and that includes me as well. And so I'm okay to drop a tear or two because I know we're doing the right things for children. And another thing that I love to talk about is our AAC devices, our augmentation devices. Those children that need a way to speak are getting that increased communication tool. So this past year, we had 13 students that before that were not able to use their voice. And so now they are using a voice output device. A lot of them are using a high-tech device with LAMP, which is an app that we use. We've incorporated that throughout the entire school by using a forward of the. So if you walk through our hallways, you will see all over the place. We have signs up with our forward. And one of our teachers who's here tonight, Mandy recorded on buttons the forward. So kids can go up, they tap the button, it says the word. Mandy's voice says hello. That's our first forward. And then she's put next to that like a kitten or a caterpillar or a dog. And then those pictures are all over the hallway in the school. So they can say, hello kitten, hello dog. It's so sweet. So that continues to build communication skills. Students, we know that behavior is a form of communication. So if we can help children increase their communication skills, we're going to see a decrease. And then as a school community, this past year, we received over $100,000 in grants. We opened a Photop pre-inclusion classroom last year. We restructured our program for this school year. And we held over the summer curriculum mapping and experience day for our teachers. So we now have this curriculum map that aligns our curriculum with our creative curriculum, which is our academic curriculum, with our social emotional curriculum, with our standards, and our skills, knowledge, and behaviors that we assess through iSprout. That's all mapped out for the whole year. Everybody's on the same page. They know what's coming up. I can have conversations with students, with staff, with parents about what your children are learning. And it's that common thread. So we're looking at really understanding what a guaranteed viable curriculum means for all children in the education. So our data. So data at the Early Learning Center looks different than what you will see in our K-12 buildings because we are still learning the process of data collection through iSprout. And so having that alignment with our district strategic plan and having a school improvement plan sure that all of the other things throughout the building are getting worked out. So our scheduling, we have a master schedule now. All of those things I need help doing because there isn't another administrator there. And so I need them to be a part of that. It has to be. So we also have 100% of our classrooms using visual supports. That is huge for kids who can't handle the language input. So we have so many children who struggle with their receptive and expressive language skills that we need to stop talking and just use those pictures. And so getting everybody on board with that, knowing that we need to create a visual schedule for the day, for hand washing, for snacks, for lining up, for walking down the hall. And then we had Lynn Myers, one of our SLPs this year, she did some video modeling for children. So then I was able to sit out in the hallway with a child who's struggling with coming to community circle, and we watched the video together on the community circle rules, what circle time expectations are, and then I made a video of him singing the circle time expectation song, and then we watched him doing it different way. Video modeling is such a research-based strategy, and it was great to be able to use that student for many years. We have our aligned SEL curriculums, so we also adopted Emochis, which is what our elementary schools are using too. Our third portion of our SEL work is conscious discipline. We had 6 staff members receive massive training this summer. Captain Logan and I went for a 2-day workshop, and then we had 4 staff members go for a week-long summer institute, and we learned so much. We identified what we were going to back, put on that curriculum map, what were the must-dos for this, to see that already taking place. Just spreading throughout the building is fantastic. And then we took our day prior to the first day of the school year. My staff comes back a little bit early because we open for staff members, students to come in. So our full day staff actually comes in 4 days before students, the K-12 students come. Then my contracted staff agreed to come in. They came in a day before they actually had to, so that they would also participate in these conscious discipline training. That's something we've done the past couple of years. Worked through with Dr. Kaiser previously, getting that okay so that they would come in and could come in if they chose to come in and do that training. So having that full staff there to receive the conscious discipline training really helped our school year out to a great start. Our challenges. So having so many non-certified staff members is fantastic. It's wonderful. But it presents a challenge because we've got people coming in at all different levels of their knowledge. And the biggest piece that they are struggling with at times is the pedagogy. You know, when you learn in school how to be great teachers and why we're doing certain things, and then I've got a large group that I need to go back and kind of reverse and make sure that they are brought up to speed. That kind of, it's kind of like teaching a word and really understanding differentiation that needs to happen when you're doing professional development. We don't have a common training time for our staff, so we don't have specials. So our staff really have to work creatively, and we typically do that on Wednesdays because we don't have a portion of our students that come to school on Wednesdays because of conferences and evaluations. So we try to get everybody through a training time on Wednesdays, and that is hard. I don't have full staff time because we open at 6:30 and we close at 5. So just becoming creative with how many times we do a professional development session. Dr. Skavinsky and Dr. Sweat I talked this week about doing some repeat sessions so that even though we're going to say the same thing 3 times, we want everybody to hear it. And then we also have a rolling enrollment, and that can make things really difficult. So we take children at any time that they qualify for special education services. So that can be the day a child turns 3 or a day that their evaluation comes if you would come over in the day and hear our radio calls. We all carry radios, we all know how to use them and how to call appropriately. If somebody needs something, they'll call on the radio, and the number of people who say, I can go, or give me just a sec, I'll be right there, from our receptionist to our admin assistant to our school psychologist, whoever's available, and you don't get that under. Sometimes we can be a little bit selfish with our time, as adults, wanting to get things done, but boy, these people just step in to help each other out. The growth in our CCDF has been fantastic, and was a wonderful constant practice for us to continue to reach out to families that might not realize that we take CCDF vouchers to get their students in before they get there. I think is really important. And then just that consistency of planning and having for doing that, making sure that we have and shoot for that parenting platform, so that every child knows, every family knows their children are going to receive this. And then our teachers can add on additional things, but everybody's gonna get that piece. This is fun. I'm assuming we're doing a similar thing to it looks like we have our student isn't here yet. And so that's a bummer, but Austin is being recognized tonight, and we will make sure to get Austin his medal. And if you guys, oh, it makes me so sad that he's not here. So when I first met Austin, Austin has a variety of areas of eligibility for special education services. And so we had to learn a lot. April Oldham was his classroom teacher last year, and we were nervous because he at times can be fragile. And so we really wanted to make sure that we were meeting his health needs, keeping him safe, but also really stretching his spine. And so we had him in more of a wheelchair type, almost like more of a sport type piece of equipment to navigate through health. And then parents shared with us his wheelchair, big wheels on it. They're Lego wheels. So now you see Austin just rolling all over the place, and he really could just be the mayor of the US. So hopefully he'll be able to come tonight. If not, we will certainly pass on his message. And we have the Murphy family. You might recognize Jessica. Jessica is one of our amazing coaches in our district elementary schools. And Pierce is her son. Pierce is in our program. You know, when you start a new job and you're just trying to figure out who is going to give you that smile that just makes you feel like you're in the right spot, and who's going to say, if you need anything, let me know. That was Jessica from day one with me. And she just stepped right in throughout the entire school year with staff appreciation things, just checking in on me. How are you guys doing? What do you need? Oh, let's do a fall kitchen. Okay, I got that, Kristen. I'm going to take care of that sign of genius. Or I sometimes take on some of those things that I shouldn't. So she'll say, no, Kristen, I got that. Let's stop. You're okay. Let us show you appreciation too. So Jessica, thank you so much for everything you did last year and already continuing to do, because we started a PTO, and guess who our PTO?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Maybe good. I delete on delete was a part of a member of St. Luke's United Methodist Church, and we have some families that need some food on the weekends. And so we reached out through an evaluation, through hearing from a family that they needed. We asked a family if they could send in 2 diapers for their child and his first day. Mom said she didn't think that she could send in any diapers because she wasn't sure she had a need for them. And St. Luke's has a diaper bank, and one of our teachers, Amber Jackson, got in touch with St. Luke's. They provided us with diapers. Then I learned this Steve, who I've known for, you know, a long time. And so now St. Luke's puts together, I mean, anywhere between 10 and 20 bags every week for us. And we just go around on Friday and we split the bags in staff packs. Sometimes we can't even do that because it's so much food that we hand it off to our bus driver, who then hands it off. We are now supplying diapers to families, food, they help us with clothing. The league was like, what else do you need? We are preferred. And that is what I want us to be as a school, as a family, as a community. I want us to be someplace where families know that they come when they need it, and we're going to help them. But we can't do it all, so we have to have different partners. And St. Luke's has been truly an investment in partners. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I will go to my dying grave saying this foundation that we have in this district is unlike any other. The fact that we get to go to teacher treasure. I mean, you guys got $1,800 for things on Monday to teacher treasures. That's fantastic. I mean, I've had a teacher, she's gone now, but she said to me as we were coming in from bus duty on Monday, "Listen, I need some more chairs." So I bet they'll have a teacher treasure. No, they don't have chairs at teacher treasure. We walk in and there are stacks of preschool chairs, the exact color and the exact kind that we have. They were like, take them all. We loaded those chairs and this morning Julie announced we closed them off. I mean, it's such a blessing to get down there. And then Julie's already has somebody, we had somebody come in and fully fund all of the BLC live Donors Choose grants that were on Donors Choose 2 weeks ago. I don't know them. I got this message saying your project has been fully funded by this couple in North Carolina. Wow, amazing. It's just, it's this foundation and what they do for us is second to none. I am so grateful. I feel like I'm saying that word, but I'm really grateful that it's so hard. Our funding comes differently. We're constantly looking at enrollment and dollars and where everything is going. How can I buy more chairs? I don't want to spend the money on chairs to not have to do that. Big, huge thanks to Washington Township. Thanks for helping. Today at the birth in the office of stuff in the Department of Education, and poor Dr. Taylor had to get me down and ready for me to sit down to help me back.
I'm gonna close that. You just minimize it. Yeah. Thank you for, and here, take this.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Parisi. All right, the next item on the agenda is our superintendent's announcements. Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, President Fry. Good evening, board members. Good evening, community. Thank you, ELC, for setting the bar high for our first school spotlight of the year. We're experiencing an excellent start to the school year. We kicked it off this year with an Ignite event for all of our staff on the very first teacher workday back. Our schools are doing a great job of settling into a productive rhythm and routine. And I linked there a video for you for our back to school video that captured some of that Ignite event. And I wanted to be sure to give a special kudos and shout out to our North Central senior MCs who facilitated our Ignite event. That was Gabby Moore and John Henninger, who I was nervous enough going before an audience of over 1,000 staff members, but they handled it like a couple of pros. I know some of you were able to be there and some of you weren't able to be there. And so there's just a little bit more on Ignite there. So kudos to our North Central seniors. Speaking of the strategic plan, we do have a district strategic plan webinar for all community stakeholders to learn more about the plan, particularly the plan initiatives. That's scheduled for next Tuesday evening, August 19th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Those who are interested will need to register. Board members, feel free to join if your schedule permits. Thank you to our health services team who partnered with the Indiana Immunization Coalition to host a vaccine clinic right here at CEC last week on August 6th. We had over 100 students who attended along with their parents and guardians to receive their required immunizations. So that's a critical partnership that gives access to a lot of families right here in Washington Township. iRead results. This is hot off the press. We just got this news today. For the 4th consecutive year in a row, we celebrate increased proficiency on iRead. We're just under 85% at 84.7%. So I wanted to be sure to thank our elementary students and our elementary families and staff for all of their hard work to continue to raise the bar for our young Panthers there when it comes to iRead. And then also there's per legislation, we have a proposed new letter grade system for school accountability that I wanted to make the board aware of. We're still learning about this letter grade system. We are hosting the director of accountability from the Department of Education next week at our exec team to unpack what that letter grade process is going to mean for Washington Township schools. And so I look forward to updating our community on what that's about as we proceed down this road. It is a proposal. It's in draft form. I have heard they have received very little, if any, feedback regarding the proposal. I think part of that's because we're back to school and we've got a lot on our plates. And also it's pretty complicated. So that's why we wanted to do that direct outreach with DOE to say, hey, come educate us on this proposal, which will come to a vote. And if it passes by the state board, then it will be in effect this school year. So information there posted for you to review as your schedule permits. And then finally, I'll give a kudos to our transportation department. Received multiple compliments from staff and parents this year regarding transportation logistics. I know they spent a lot of time in preparation over the summer. Just appreciate their hard work and their deliberate approach to doing the dry runs and getting as much those wrinkles ironed out as we possibly can as we start the school year. I know we still have some continued isolated matters that we're working on, but just wanted to shout out that team and appreciate all their hard work and dedication. And so with that, that concludes my superintendent announcements, and I'll turn it back over to you, President Fry.
Thank you. All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is comments from the public. Per our publicly posted policy, we have asked folks to sign in on a sign-in sheet if they wish to give public comment. So I will be calling them in the order on the sheet. If for some reason somebody's here wanting to comment and didn't sign in, when we get to everybody else, I'll open it up for anybody else. I do have to read a few quick rules and guidelines before we begin. When addressing the board, please just step up to the podium. Please state your name and address for the record. Each comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. Public comments should not exceed 30 minutes total per meeting. Just so you know, board members don't respond or engage during the meeting. If there are any follow-up issues, those will be dealt with moving forward. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic unless everyone else has already spoken. And the following comments are not allowed: harassing, personally directed towards staff or students, or obscene or irrelevant. So with that, I would like to invite Lindsay, is it QC, to the podium?
I've been a Washington Township parent for over a decade. I've served in PTO leadership, volunteered in classrooms, and been engaged in district commissions. Professionally, I'm a licensed mental health counselor, a professor, and consultant who has delivered hundreds of trainings on youth mental health, many of them on the harmful effects of excessive technology. I presented on this very topic to parents, educators, and legislators, and I share this because I speak both from professional expertise and a deep investment in my community. I'm here to express serious concern about the one-to-one Chromebook initiative for some students, both the policy itself and the lack of meaningful parent communication. Parents raised strong objections when this was discussed in a March meeting, yet many of us learned through word of mouth that this would move forward without official notice, with official notice only arriving days before the school started. A change of this magnitude should have been communicated months earlier with opportunities for feedback. That type of management is not transparency. We must remember who these students are. They're the COVID kids. Their early learning years were dominated by screens and research, and it's clear excessive screen time in formative years impact attention, self-regulation, and academic performance. In fact, our district's recent academic gains have come from reducing, not increasing, technology in the classroom. Moving backward now is deeply concerning, especially after our district has made consistent efforts to educate parents about healthier technology habits at home for the past 3 years. Practical issues remain. Students are hauling Chromebooks they rarely use, along with binders and materials without backpacks. Teachers are now tasked with policing devices on top of everything else. Parents are battling to keep yet another device from becoming a constant distraction at home. These aren't minor inconveniences, they're daily frustrations that undercut learning. I'm asking for a review of policy with at minimum some compromise from the district, ideally returning to a card-based model for all students. If that's not an option, limit one-to-one in 8th grade only, putting 7th graders back on the card-based model. And at the very minimum, an option for opting out. Parents need to be able to not have this in their home if they choose not to. This is not about resisting change, it's about making decisions that are developmentally sound, academically effective, and made in partnership with the families who serve. Right now, this policy fails on all counts. We all want our children to thrive, and I'm asking the board and administration to consider this. Not just for the sake of policy, but to restore the trust and collaboration that parents deserve.
Thank you. Next up, I have Amber Jett.
I'm Amber Jett, 810 Staghorn Road. I'm the mother of 3 Washington Township students, a 2nd grader, a 4th grader who is a graduate of PLC, and one currently in 7th grade. I want to share some comments from the other parents who signed the petition Lindsay created. We were all sent some of these in an email in July, but we feel it's important that their voices are heard here as well. Quote, too much screens. Quote, on a personal level, in 6th grade, my child struggled to complete classroom assignments in instances where his teachers allowed free access to Chromebooks. He was easily able to find games to play, and when one was blocked, would find a new one. As a 7th grader, he was involved in creating and sharing Google Slides with inappropriate content. With increased access to technology, these types of scenarios will only become more frequent. Quote, teachers are tasked with so much throughout the school day already. Having to police device use beyond what is necessary is an unfair request. Some teachers would do this well, but should not add to, and others won't just be able to set and maintain appropriate expectations. Quote, for an age group that developmentally needs extra support to navigate managing technology, increasing access does them a huge disservice. Research is clear about the negative impact on mental health associated with increased device use. Quote, considering the amount of time students use technology, I don't see the benefit of having it available at all times to students. The number of students who disrespect the school-issued electronics would be a distraction to teachers and staff. Students find workarounds to play games and other activities during class times. They are not responsible enough to manage Chromebook unit usage without immense parental or educational supervision. best financial interest either. Quote, it is already a battle on so many other device fronts. We really struggle with unauthorized access to the Chromebook whenever it has been sent home for e-learning days or other things, even with hiding. I don't want to play whack-a-mole with yet another device in our home. Please keep Chromebooks at school. Quote, from personal experience of 4 of my own children working and receiving education on how young children and old learn best. I strongly believe that the children have too much access and reliance on technology already. It can be a useful tool, however, the access to the internet, you open a huge can of worms and concerns. Additionally, studies show that creativity, patience, and thinking outside of the box has drastically decreased as a result of too much access without thought at fingertips. More, newer, faster is not always being better. It is the responsibility of parents, caregivers, and educators to make the best choices for guidance and upbringing for the children whose lives we live. For what is better for their growth and future, not what is easier or new. Quote, I asked my 8th grader for his thoughts, and his preference would be to leave it at school and not be responsible for transporting me to from school. But the courses he has taken this semester, he has textbooks in addition to the binder and Chromebooks. One compromise I would like to see is the ability for students to carry a backpack to transport records, even a clear one of safety concerns. That was means back to school later. Okay. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and for coming tonight. Next up, I have Liz Kemp.
This step, 10:57. As a parent, a Washington Township student, Central, and teacher in Washington Township, I really believe that one-on-one computers has been beneficial. As a teacher, my EML students are able to access the resources that they need in order to keep up with their classmates in regards to online homework, as well as any sites they can use to make it. It's preparing them for high school. As a parent, boils down to, is my responsibility to monitor my child's use and else. Do not expect district, other parents, I do not expect teachers to monitor my child from home.
Thank you. Is Brooke Duran? Oh, no, that's fine. We love having sign-ins. Not a problem. No, actually, we love having people sign in just so we know you are here too. So that's not a problem. I also, yes, I also do have Deleith Blomberg, but I believe she was also here just for the presentation. So, okay, that's all that were signed up. Was there anybody else here who wished to address the board for public comment? Okay, thank you very much for everybody who shared today. We very much appreciate when our parents, when our constituents, when our community members take time to not only see what we're doing, but to let us hear your feedback. So thank you for that. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, it is the approval of our consent agenda. And is that, I'm sorry, Dr. Whitman will be doing that today.
President, members of the school board, I recommend that you approve the consent agenda for this meeting. The consent agenda includes the approval of minutes of the July 23rd, 2025 reorganization and regular meeting, an approval of 1 payroll calculation summary report, a claims docket in the amount of $2,770,064.53, a special personnel item in accordance with Indiana Code 2026-5-11-2, a human resources report containing classified personnel, 36 new hires, 18 resignations, 1 termination, and 2 leaves, and a certified personnel report, 15 new appointments, 11 resignations, 1 termination, 1 retirement, and 1 maternity, child rearing, adoption. There is 1 non-competitive grant gift or donation to present for board approval, the 2023-24 Refugee School Impact Grant. Additional allocation from IDE in the amount of $7,904.70. Additional information has been provided
in your board. So with that, I respectfully submit consent.
Board, any questions on the consent agenda? Do I have a motion if no more questions?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented by Dr. Whitman.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, no. And that is approved 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to our action items for tonight. The first item is the approval of a project change order. Mr. Boots.
Thank you, Madam President. Taylor and members of the board, I am here this evening with a single change order number 0022 40 investments, doing business as 40 Ruby Sheet Metal for our Hilltop Reef project. We discovered while removing the existing copper roof that all of the plywood sheeting below it was not beyond salvage, so we had to replace that entirely. The amount of this change order is $39,787.79, and will be funded through operations. You have to answer any questions.
Questions, board? Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I move that we approve the project change order number 002 for Horning Investments as presented by Mr. Boots.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Ayes have it 5-0. Change orders approved. Thank you, Mr. Boots. Next item, we'll call Mrs. Parisi back up again. Long time no see, to present to us an employer training grant.
So much. Board members, Taylor, just coming tonight to ask again for your permission to reapply for the workforce development grant. We received this last year. It provided us $50,000 to train our staff. So it's 25 staff members. We were able to go ahead and train everybody with the first year of Compass Discipline. Our rollout plan is a 3-year plan for Compass Discipline. So the workforce development folks are ready to have us reapply for the second year. So I just ask for your permission to do that.
Board, any questions for Mrs. Parisi? Ms. Worth Krueger?
Thank you. So when you say it's a 3-year plan, so it's expected that you'll make the application for this funding, but is there an expectation that it'll be awarded, or is this okay, I just wanted to clarify. Okay.
After 6 months. So the grant is to encourage professional development and longevity in your staff for early childhood, daycares, child care centers. And so we need to say that over the 6 months, these folks stay. And so as long as they stayed, and I proved that I've got 25 staff members that started with me on the day I applied for the grant and that are still with me 6 months later. It's fantastic.
Well, that's excellent, but it also is a lot of work to make sure that the 25 stays. So kudos to you for making that happen. Thank you.
Any, Mr. Retavis?
So building on her question, so is it the expectation that you'll come back next year for the 3rd phase? Okay. I love seeing you. You're fun.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the employer training grant as presented by Ms. Parisi.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it 5-0. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, the next action item tonight is the approval of the second quarter financial reports. Mrs. Smith.
I bring to you this evening, the second quarter of
In your individual, board docs, you'll see of those individual ones for all the funds. However, tonight, what we customarily do is go over the quarterly report that ended June 25 for our major budgeted funds, which is our education fund, our operating referendum fund, and our operations fund. Just to remind the board how these are filed, the first column that you see there in green and blue, that is our official budget order for those three funds. In the top section is the revenue, and bottom section is our expenditures. So you'll see that just shy of $160 of its anticipated revenue of those three funds, and broken down by our basic grant, our tuition support, our local property taxes, other taxes, and then interest and miscellaneous revenue. On the top portion there, the transfers you'll see there. That's a reminder that $11 million is a big number. You can see it right off the bat. To remind the board and community what that is the transfer that we're allowed to do for our education fund to our operations fund when they created these two new funds back in 2019. Our revenue still only comes in one fund, but some of those expenditures were transferred to the operations fund back in 2019 from our old general fund. So that is to support those expenditures that they moved over, and without splitting the funds, still comes in one fund, we're able to split those out and transfer that to the operations fund. So underneath there, you'll see our expenditures by object type. So you'll see those broken down between salaries, benefits, services, and so on. And that is a little over $173 million, and that's with those transfers built in. Then you'll see the actual quarter budget dollars amounts, and then in the next column, you'll see the budget year-to-date amounts. And as we go down through, you'll see the graphs on the right-hand side, detailing out the same thing as the data to the left. And then at the bottom, you'll see a summary that speaks to the year-to-dates of what we received for revenue and what has gone on for expenditures and balances and total fund balances for those three. On the right-hand side, in the one that the box that's colored with blue, you'll see that is a simple amount of percent of the year expended by June 30th. Of course, it's right about 50%. Then it shows you that we received about 53% of our revenue and spent about 45% of our expenditures. So that when you're looking at that, that's very good to see that we are, of course, spending under what we received. That is our ultimate goal, is to balance our revenue with our expenditures each year. I would be happy to answer any questions the board may have on the second quarter financials that's presented.
Board, any questions? I just have one question, Mrs. Smith. It kind of just occurred to me. I'm happy to see the utility line looking really good. I know utility bills have been a huge hit to household budgets in 2025 so far, but I have no idea what commercial rates look like compared to residential. Has that been any issue for us? Do you anticipate that being an issue for us?
Capital software in them. All the renovations that we've been doing in our buildings, our operations teams, our capital teams have been working diligently with all of these renovations to put energy efficient utilities items into our buildings. So that has helped combat those high raising of rates and things like that. So it's helped us maintain a nice balance in our district.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Mrs. Smith? All right, do I have a motion?
Move to approve the second quarter 2025 financial reports for April, May, and June as presented by Mrs. Smith.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it 5-0. The motion is approved. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. And you stay right here for our next item, approval of the 2025 general obligation bond.
Sure. It is that time of year again. We customarily come back to the board anywhere from August to October, looking at either general obligation bonds for leases that represent our debt service fund. this general obligation bond for, the year 2025. I'll show you a presentation here just to go over a couple things. And this shows, this screen right here shows our existing debt service. And you'll see how it staggers down for each year if we did no, issuance of debt service. This is an example of why we, fill that in with future debt service. And also this helps outside of what our maximum levy we do receive for our operations fund. This allows us to do some of those other regular repair and maintenances throughout the year, such as roof replacements, paving, lighting, those types of things that after we've done major renovations for our capital referendum, we must maintain our beautiful buildings by replacement schedule. So our operations department has completed a regular replacement plan, and then this helps support those above and beyond the operations fund that we also use for those things. So then you'll see here, this is just the math version, data version of what you just saw on the charts. Then you'll see what they call a bond capacity. So this shows you for our district, the formula that the state uses for us. And then you'll see our estimated general obligation bond capacity here at Washington Township is $42 million. For this bond, general obligation bond, we are applying for 5.5 million. So this just shows that we have plenty of bond capacity if we so choose in different years to go a larger amount. Then this screen shows you the proposed financing information for the $5.5 million bond over 5 years and 3 months to go with the legislative session. So all the different constraints that we have now with this, we work with our financial advisors to map this out, and this keeps us compliant and within the years that we need. So it doesn't allude us to not be able to issue future general obligation funds. So it has a time frame now through the legislative session that we have to do in to alleviate a large gap in between. So you'll see the most important thing that I wanted to show is this bottom line here. You can see here the 0.0000. So issuing this general obligation bond will be no tax rate increase to our public. So then this just shows you after putting in the general obligation bond, what that looks like with that blue color there across of what those payments would look like. And then how it stair steps down in future years. And that's what we would look at, another either general obligation bond or a lease for other larger items that we may need throughout the district at that time. So this is just the bond package we talked about. We don't have to worry about that. And then this is just an extra screen that they put in there. This is our capital referendum rates. We have done issuing financing for those capital referendums, and now we're finishing our projects for the next couple of years. This is just the payback of all those, the $185 million and the $205 million that we were able to get approved by voter success through all that. So that is the general expenses for our general obligation bond. And you also have the timetable in your board packet of the future requirements and board meetings that make certain either hearings or adopting certain resolutions in your future upon approval from the board and advertising. So I would ask for the board's approval to move forward with this 2025 general obligation bond as presented.
Board, any questions? Do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the 2025 general obligation bond as presented by Mrs. Smith.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by, or I'm sorry, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and That motion passes. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. And you get one more. Action item number 5, approval of the first reading of revisions of some board policies.
Board, I get to pitch it to Dr. Kaiser tonight. I wasn't able to be here, but of course, you know, I was used to this drill and last couple of years, with a couple, revisions that were done over that time span. So, I am just going to, cover these for you. The first one, I'm just gonna go in order of alphabetical and numeric order. So that's how I work, but the first one that I'm going to cover is A100, which is the non-discrimination and anti-harassment. And this is, revisions for the language from, SBA 289 and Indiana Code 22-9.3 regarding personal characteristics have been added to that. It references to, different things of, gender, has been removed based on changes of the OCR enforcements and such. Next, we have C-175, student attendance, academic engagement, and truancy prevention policy. This adds the mandated excuse absence for, FFA or 4-H under the ATA 16 and Indiana Codes 20-33-2-17.8. And it revises definitions of absent students to extend through grades 12 under SBA 42 and Indiana Codes, and revises the timing for attendance conferences to 10 days under the SBA 42 and Indiana Code. Next, we have, an associated form that goes with that. Also, you'll see that in your board packet. And then moving on to C-200, anti-bullying. Notes from the policy, notes that the policy is no longer required under AGA 1002s and Indiana Code, and adds the timeline for reporting to parents under SBA 265 and Indiana Code. Next, we have C-225, parental access to instructional materials and surveys. Includes the requirement that, a list of instructional materials on human sexuality to be posted on the school's website per SBA 442 and Indiana Code. And then there's associated set form template also for packet. Next, we have T-200, standard of care and supervision of students, whose language under HCA 50 and Indiana Code regarding notice to employee and parent of student allegation against employee determined to be unsubstantiated or otherwise dismissed. Next, we have E-200, religious release time and credit for religious education, and related form. C-175, 200, religious instruction attendance form. So you have all that here on that documentation. Outlines the requirements for release time under Indiana Code, and includes the revised language of SBA 255 on when education qualifies for high school credit. And then next, we have G-350, audio, video, and digital recording on school property and of school meetings. Revised language on parent recording as required under HCA 1285 and Indiana Codes. And then last but not least, H-100, school visitors and parent-family engagement. It's new language from SBA 143 Indiana Code regarding parental right to direct education, parental access to information. All of this goes in line with, this last year's legislative changes, and this is the group that we received, one of the groups, we have more, that we received from Churchill. Adrian, who is our, advisor and, provider of the internet changes for our district. And then as usual, Dr. Kaiser will go through these and present these to our board liaison and administrators to look over these. And this is the first reading for the season. And if there are any changes by the second reading, then Dr. Kaiser will bring those notes to you for the vote. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I don't really have a question, just have a comment for the public. As Ms. Smith mentioned, there are 2 members of this board who are on a board policy liaison. So we meet with Assistant Superintendent Dr. Kaiser and review these policies prior to them being brought here today.
Thank you. Mrs. Georgievas, did you have a?
Yeah,
question?
some of these might look familiar. Um, that's where I was going with this. They might look and sound familiar because did a complete overhaul last school year. The liaisons and Dr. Kaiser broke them out critical and I hate to say non-critical because they do have to be changed, but this was the stack that was recommended for immediate change. So that's why this stack came to the board first. And then we're just gonna lump like another 10 for for our first reading coming up. So they will sound familiar, but everything was literally a language change based on the last legislative session.
Thank you to our liaisons for clarifying some of that for us. Any other questions, board? Okay, do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the first reading of revisions to board policies and policies related forms C225, C225E, G350, C175, C175E, A100, C200, D200, E200, and H100 as presented by Mrs. Smith.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it and the motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. I think you finally get to sit down. And it's Dr. Seaver's turn. Action item number 6. Dr. Seaver has a Media Center Enhancement Grant to post.
To accept the Media Center Enhancement Grant awarded to North Central Library in the amount of $14,500. This grant is an annual grant for any Mariontown High School Media Center to supplement, not replace, school or district allocated funds. The funds from this grant will be used to support our multilingual learners by increasing our audiobook collection and books and services. We will also use a portion of these funds to increase the collection of digital cameras that are circulated throughout the North Central Library Media Center, provide more equitable access for students in courses such as digital photography, journalism, and for students who take other courses for various topics. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Board, any questions? I have a question. So just to be clear, we're just approving you accepting some free money, right? I like that. We like those
Gotta
like
love that.
Yep.
Okay. If there are no other questions, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the acceptance of the Media Center Enhancement Grant, which has been awarded to North Central Library as presented by Dr. Seaver.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
I'm going to abstain from this vote as this is my employer.
Okay, fair. Okay, so to clarify, I'm sorry, I guess I should have called for abstentions. So let me redo the vote just to be safe and clear. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, no. All abstentions.
I'm going to abstain because this is my employer, but I am happy for you guys.
Thank you. So the ayes have it 4-1 abstention. Thank you. Action item 7 is the approval of another grant, 2025-26 STEM Integration Grant. Mrs. Conti.
I am here tonight seeking apply to accept for the competitive STEM integration grant to the Indiana Department of Education. Grant is designed to expand access to high quality STEM instruction across K-12 with the goal of increasing student participation and achievement in science and technology. If awarded, this grant will allow us to provide additional materials to continue offering the Project Lead the Way biomedical sciences pathway at our central and also the PLTW Gateway courses at each middle school, specifically medical detectives and flight to space, which are very popular and very it will also allow us to equip all 8 of our elementary schools to have one mystery science kit per grade K-5. The grant cycle runs retroactively from July 1st to June 30th next year, and the announcement funding, which will directly consist of programming from all of school. Readiness for academic. And with that, I'm done.
Mrs. George Davis?
You probably knew this was coming. Mystery science materials, is it that we don't know what's in it or we are solving a mystery?
Company is the vendor of
Okay.
science in elementary school, so they do not use PLTW programming, they use mystery science programming.
Okay, so that's like, that's the name, like my name's Deirdre. The company, okay. I was sitting here like, is this like a Scooby-Doo or solving a mystery or is it a mystery? Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions for?
I do have one. So this is kind of looking at the budget that you put forward. The number of kits, is that like the max you can, so if you had, what is it, 48, 49 on here? If 50 students wanted to do it, would we be able to? Classrooms? Okay.
And it doesn't sound like a lot, we're doing one kit per grade per building. We did purchase some last year, but the DOE this year for STEM grant, it's cut in half.
Oh.
So we're just kind of building a little bit.
So more, it's not about per student, it's about per, okay. Thank you.
Ms. Hart Kruger?
Thank you. I have a question about the timeline. You said it's retroactive back to June, so it started June 1, 25, right? So it goes through next year, but then, so we've made the purchases?
So usually when I spend the grant funds on, this will be our fourth year in a row, I think, if we get the grant. I usually don't spend the awarded amount until the spring. So what we do is we look at enrollment in courses. And the way that we're applying this year is a little bit more general. Usually we'll say this is for principal of biomed or this is for medical innovations, but we're doing it by pathway instead because we typically have had more enrollment in some courses than others. So I have to do amendments within the grant to like make it. So I'll spend this money if awarded, even though we'll get it on the 30th. I won't really spend it until about March because I
Bless you.
purchased all of the materials the following school year with it. I've already purchased this year with the grant last year, so it usually sits, I think I made our business office nervous. Sits for a long time, and I get lots of emails reminding me how much money I have, but it all goes away.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Appreciate it.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the 25-26 STEM integration grant from the Indiana Department of Education as presented by Mrs. Conti.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it 5-0, the motion passes. Thank you. And moving on, also for Mrs. Conti, action item number 8, an agreement with Ryan Flessner, educational consultant.
Yes, I'm here seeking approval for the extension of the contract with Dr. Fleckner. We have partnered as a district in the elementary school for probably close to 6 years. In the middle school, this will be our 3rd year partnering with Dr. Fleckner at the middle level. So during the 24-25 academic year, the middle school is engaged in some critical foundational work regarding the balanced math approach, which is ending with problem solving, number work, expected equations, fluency and maintenance in mind. To build on that momentum, this year we are proposing that we focus on deepening our planning and implementation through targeted grade-specific. So the proposal would really include 3 whole-day sessions for each grade level in grade 6 to 8, totaling 9 full professional development days across the middle school teams. Training will be on site this year, so instead of it being a workshop style, Dr. Flesker will go to each building, 6th grade at Westheimer, 7th grade at Northview, and 8th grade at Eastwood. And all the 6th grade teachers will come to West Lane. He will, on his first visit, co-plan and model a full lesson for teachers to watch with our actual students. So we'll debrief beforehand and after, we'll reflect, we'll plan our own lesson. Second time he comes back at West Lane, we will co-construct a lesson and he will co-teach with the teacher while the rest of the 6th grade teachers observe or provide feedback. We'll come back together and we'll apply the things we talked about in our own planning. And then on the 3rd day, he will co-construct a lesson with the group, but each teacher will go and teach a small group the lesson we've co-constructed and we'll give each other feedback and then continue that planning. And that same model will happen the
board, any questions? Mr. Thompson?
I just noticed that the contract says the compensation for agreement total 17,000. So is the extra just in case, like you use his hourly rate for stuff?
Okay, sorry.
24,750 is the.
That's the correct amount.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. It's okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood.
Any other questions? Yes.
And you said that the district has been working with this consultant for 6 years, did I hear?
In the elementary space, 3 years longer than the middle, and so this will be our third year.
Okay.
Yeah, to clarify, Dr. Flessner started working with Clearwater with math focus, differentiating for students that were scoring above grade level as well. That's kind of how it started small and it's kind of grown because of its successful partnership.
So he's definitely having a positive impact is
Yeah.
what you're, okay.
Oh, absolutely. Our math board is really proud of him. We have lots of I do appreciate part of that, Dr. Plus, the work that our teachers and our math program.
Great, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I do appreciate the level of detail you gave of exactly what he's going to be doing, because obviously we approve a lot of professional development. And this was really great for me as a board member to kind of really understand what's actually going to be happening. So thank you for that. Were there any other questions, board? Okay. As a point of clarification, given that the document that we have in board docs is erroneous, I'm going to ask whoever makes the motion to specifically move that we approve the 2025 contract for the 24,750 amount, and then we'll ensure that the actual approved version is what's published after the meeting. Okay, so just to kind of clarify procedurally how to handle that. So with that, do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the 2025 agreement with Ryan Flessner Educational Consulting for the amount in the amount of $24,750.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, 5-0. Thank you, Mrs. Conti. Moving forward with Dr. Skibinski for presenting an SLPA therapy services agreement.
Taylor, members of the board, I am here from the Student Services Office to request approval to contract services of a speech language pathologist aide. The MSD of Washington Township is currently seeking your approval to go under contract with an SLPA who works directly under the supervision of a licensed speech language pathologist. This position will allow us to provide support in the assessment and treatment of communication disorders. The SLPA will assist with implementing those treatment plans, monitoring student progress, and preparing materials. This specific SLPA will provide support 2 days a week to the ELC, so the number of students that Ms. Parisi shared, as well as the number of walk-in services that we provide, requires some additional support. This SLPA, if approved, will then spend 3 days a week at Willow Lake to support that SLP and their ever-growing student needs in both buildings. The SLPA will be under the direct supervision of a licensed speech pathologist at all times. The funding source for this request is our special education grant and that of our P. Do you have any questions specific to that position?
Board, any questions? Mr. Thompson?
Is this our first SLPA in the district?
This was actually our second.
Okay.
We hired one last year as well, but we're trying to work smarter and be more cost effective. I'll tell you a funny story. Ms. Parisi talked about the ELC and the 15 students who are using the AACs. One of those students has transit, he's now in kinder at one of our schools. And today I had professional development with the SLP team. And the kindergarten student in session with the SLPA used his
Again, fantastic. But, to your point, Mr. Thompson, we have a lot with the number of non-pubs that we serve, our schools, and the number of walk-ins. It's a very large demand on our staff. So we are really working very creatively. These are licensed positions in the state of Indiana. The license is there, it's fully vetted. And we believe this is a way that we can provide our team with more support and better access.
Like it. Thank you.
Anyone else have questions? I have one, and just to be clear, even if we said we don't want to use SLPAs, we just want to use SLPs, are there even enough out there to hire?
So we're working really hard, Mrs. Fry. So, we currently have one opening right now for an SLP. And we are barking up every tree, we're shaking everything. So we are struggling right now. I do anticipate after Labor Day, some people oftentimes they get a little excited to come somewhere else. So we'll probably have an influx, but in our district, we don't have time. So we're here to service our children, and so that's why it's so important.
Great, thank you. Any further questions? If not, do I have a motion?
Move to approve the SLPA Therapy Services Agreement as presented by Dr. Skibinsky.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, 5-0, the motion carries. Thank you. And our last action item of the night, I am not familiar with her name, so please tell me if I get it wrong. Mrs. Napora? Okay, great. Approval, for professional development for SIOP.
This workshop subject or something section oxidation protocol, script-based framework for integrated development. Will be a 3D workshop designed for district and building coaches as well as secondary department chairs to deepen their knowledge and learn how to support classroom teachers differentiating instruction students, including English language learners. Participants will engage in child-led professional practices such as adolescent planning, coaching, and the development of professional learning communities, ensuring that our key expected impact is that looking for equip these coaches and instructional leaders, so coach teachers, implementing effective based on professional practices, strengthen district owned capacity to meet the academic and learning development needs of all students, improve instructional support for English language learners, and foster collaboration with professionals. This will be $1,030 paid.
Mrs. Horth-Krueger?
How many, it's a 3-day professional development, and how many people will be able to participate? Oh. Thank you.
Any other questions? I did have one as well, just since we use so many acronyms. And there's a lot of people maybe out there watching. To be clear, correct me if I'm wrong, but the SIOP model is something that we have been integrating over the last couple of years into our teaching. Is that correct? And so this is furthering it.
Basically done training, for some ENL teachers, those specifically and we are looking to expand content to classes. So this work also really focuses on differentiating instruction.
Thank you. If there's no more questions, do I have a motion?
Move to approve the Center for Applied Linguistics proposal for a 3-day SIOP workshop as presented by Ms. Napora.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and the motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Porca. That concludes our action items for the evening. And we do have one information item on the agenda. Dr. Whitman, take it away.
President Fry, members of the board, Dr. Taylor. I am here to share an information item with you that is per Indiana Code 2028, 11.59. This is a part of the code that requires an annual report to you on the aggregate results of our performance evaluation system last year. I took the liberty of giving you 3 years worth of data, not just this year, so that you could see the trajectory of how teacher performance evaluations and our professional evaluation system is having an impact over time. And we're seeing some improvement in our rating systems. So we will start to unpack and align this much more closely as we implement our district strategic plan, because there is a very important correlation student growth and performance and how we are supporting and giving feedback to our staff. So these results you're going to notice demonstrate meaningful growth over the last few years, notably the number of teachers that were rated highly effective, going from 80 in 2022, went up by 88 to the 2025 evaluation. And I believe this trend really directly aligns to 2 of the pillars that we're focusing on in our strategic plan of rigorous learning for all and the organizational growth and development. So we're talking about cultivating that culture of continuous professional learning, employee retention, and student success. Performance evaluations do help us ensure that every student is connected, challenged, and celebrated by our committed and capable educators. So our goal, of course, is to grow Panthers, and we can do that by a meaningful performance evaluation system. We want to take a moment right now to thank our educators for their professionalism and commitment to this process, and we're looking forward to another year of performance evaluation. With that, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer what I can.
Any questions?
Not a question, just this is excellent. Shows really nice, really substantial growth and highly effective and effective. So congratulations to all.
Mr. Turner?
Yes, that is true. Oh, but over time, I'm looking at this and it's time to celebrate the highly effective and effective, but it's also a lot of improvement necessary. And it's really grown even over last year. Has the evaluation changed or?
The evaluation, I can't speak specifically to why those numbers are different. I can tell you holistically, you should see educators as they become very familiar with the tool. You want to see some alignment across the board. We can call it interrater reliability and some learning practices that are happening. Our educators are always working, the evaluators work with each other and make sure we're doing that. But we also know that one of the obligations we have in any school setting is to make sure we are helping those folks know their strengths and even their weaknesses, and perhaps encourage them to seek other opportunities if this isn't a good fit. It starts with transparent evaluation.
So I appreciate that. And my thing is, I think it's also great that we're, to your point, helping those that this may not be the job for them, because our students matter. But that's such a large, I mean, it's the same. I'm just trying to figure out why it's from 3 to 17. Did we hire, maybe it's partly new hires that fall into that category? I mean, so what made such a big jump?
I can't give you the specifics, but I can try to find some perhaps specific information that would lend to that. I think when you look at the time frame of coming off of COVID also may have been an impact.
No.
Right now, I would be speculating on all of that in terms of why that's.
I don't want to keep answering the same questions, but just give me one more.
Go ahead.
Okay, that's good. Well, what I'm trying to get to is, and maybe it's not a detail exactly per teacher, but if the evaluation has become more effective or people are using the evaluation techniques more effectively and we're finding this sooner, I'm trying to see if that's a part of it, because it just seems it's such a large, I mean, the highly effective and effective is great. I mean, obviously we're evaluating them, but
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Go ahead. You've been wanting.
So I can
Sorry.
partially answer that for you because I do data all day at work. So the difference in the total numbers is about 90 something. So just on the law of averages, we've increased number of teachers from 739 to 827. So the law of averages is going to say that, and it may not have anything to do with the evaluation tool at all. It's just that we're evaluating more people. So it stands to reason that as you evaluate more people, a few more may jump into that. And I get that it's an alarming jump from 3 in one year to 17 in another year. But it, unfortunately, when the numbers are fluctuating that much, all of the numbers can change like
I
that.
get that. If you go from 22, 23 to 23, 24, the numbers weren't, we didn't lose teachers, but the number went down.
Can I jump in with a question that I think might help answer your question? I don't know, again, I don't think we have a definitive answer, but here's a hypothetical for you. Suppose you had a building principal who evaluation was not their strength, let's just say. And perhaps this building principal maybe had a tendency to just give some people electives rather than deal with, having to give people bad news, do performance improvement plans. And then suppose that our leadership addressed that issue with that individual, or maybe that individual changed. I mean, might that be the type of scenario where you see a bigger number, but it doesn't necessarily mean there's really a difference in how many teachers aren't effective? Maybe it's more of a difference in our building leadership being willing to be honest. Is that possible?
I think Dr. Taylor may have some comments to make on that, but what I will comment
Yes.
broadly about is what I appreciate about the system that Washington Township uses is you have a primary evaluator, but you also have secondary evaluators. So that evaluation in the end does have a lot of information from a lot of different sets of eyes. So it's not just necessarily one evaluator who's making this rating. They have, the primary evaluator has this final accountability to complete the process, but you do have secondary evaluators who are providing input. And in this district, we have really good quality support staff who do serve in that secondary evaluator role to try to get the most coachable, informative information to a staff person possible. And I think that's a pretty robust system. So with that, I know Dr. Taylor, you had something you might want to.
Yeah, I was just going to speak to the emphasis of Elevate as it was created was to accelerate instructional walkthroughs happening in our classrooms. So this is kind of building off of President Fry's point. And so you'll see in our data an increase, a steep incline in how much we are in classrooms working to appraise our teachers. And so it is possible that through that acceleration of how many times we're in those, we are getting a more accurate depiction of the overall performance level because we're working to be more calibrated as a instructional leadership team for inter-rater reliability, and the frequency by which we're in classrooms is far higher than we've ever been. However, looking at the data trend, it's still an outlier. So I wouldn't jump to any conclusions until we see some, longitudinal data that suggests this is a recurring trend. But that is one potential factor that is influencing this data.
There are very specific articulated steps that we go through to mitigate that performance and move them forward.
And I appreciate all the input. And I was not as clear as I should have been. I was trying to get to that point. Are we doing better at evaluating to get to this point? It's not about, if they're ineffective, they're ineffective, but are we doing something better is my point. And so that you answered it. That's what I was trying to get at. So I'm sorry I didn't ask it the correct way. But thank you.
For what it's worth, I had the same question. So thanks.
All right. Any other questions, board? All right, thank you very much, Dr. Okay, that concludes the action and information items. So the last thing on the agenda would be any special events and liaison reports. So I'll start. I won't belabor the point. It was back to school. I did a whole bunch of stuff. And was at a whole bunch of events. It was really great. There were I'll just share two highlights. First highlight was Ignite. Just great. So fun. The second highlight for me was being at Fox Hill for 2 mornings because that is where my daughter went originally. And I got the job of helping any kindergartners who came through parent drop off. Because it just so happens that door is at the opposite end of the building from the kindergartners. So I got to walk kindergartners to their classrooms. That's always a highlight. But yeah, I've been to lots of different events and nights, and but those were two highlights for me. Thank
Oh, that's the only events. But I did sit in on a meeting redrafted, well, not redrafting, but the policy meetings.
I have been to a lot since school started back. I got the opportunity to go to back to school night, Clearwater and Allisonville, as well as Eastwood. Those are all the District 3 schools. And then also on the first day of school, I supported Clearwater in the morning with drop off. And then in the afternoon, I got to spend some time at North Central and with dismissal. So that was a lot of fun. And just want to comment how great the school year start went. I mean, buses, everything. My kids' bus came on time. It was perfect. So I really appreciate that.
Same, had the opportunity to work the registration table at the back to school bash at the Jordan Y, which went really well. At least from my perspective, I think it proved to be very successful. Ignite was unbelievable. Loved the energy. It was really great to be there. And then I greeted car riders at Nora and then at Northview. And at Nora, the parents had their phones getting every step into the school. And at Northview, it was like, see ya. So that was really fun to watch. And, also had a chance to learn a lot more about STEAM and the Polytechnic program at North Central, which was very valuable. And I appreciated that opportunity a lot.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to report. The Community Coalition will begin soon. Then I'll come back with reports on that.
Great. That is the end of our agenda today. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Do we actually vote on that? Okay, all those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.